Did any of you guys order an asshole from room service?
TalkManRadio Fantasy Football Podcast. Well, you got one anyway. Welcome to the TalkManRadio Week 14 pregame show. Yes, Week 14, you know what that means.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs?
Yeah, it's the playoffs. Don't you read the schedule, Jim? Come on. Before we get into Week 14 and the playoffs, let's recap Week 13 real quick. Picking the games overall, we did not get a lot of the games right. And this is without the spread. Picking without the spread, we went 8-7. I know. Ugh. But the best bets of the week did work out a little better for TalkMan. We took Baltimore -3. That was a big win. The book took Buffalo +7.5. That's a lose. Seattle +5. That's a win. Arizona +7 is a lose. The old man took Buffalo +7.5. That still loses. Oakland -8.5 is another lose. And Chicago -3, which is a lose. Poor showing for them. Hopefully they'll come back this week. So let's get into this week. Okay, kicking off Week 14, we have the Colts at the Bills. I don't like anybody in this game. If I have to pick, I'll go with the Bills because they're at home. I don't like anybody fantasy-wise in this game outside of McCoy. He probably gets a touchdown. If Taylor plays, he's hurt. If he doesn't play, Mr. Peterman's in there. What do you want to do? I'll take Buffalo and McCoy. Here's a good game, and I'll be watching if it's on TV. Vikings at Panthers. I like the Panthers in this game. I like Camby at 250 total yards and 2 touchdowns. If they're going to win, they're going to win on his back. And I was just saying, what are you talking about? They won all these games in a row. You don't know what to talk about. Okay. You know, this is their 3rd straight game on the road. This is tough, and they have a good defense, so watch out. Those are my picks. The battle of the mid-north of the country, kind of, whatever. I guess you got to find something to say about this game. Chicago at Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati in this game. They're at home. They're the better of 2 pretty bad teams. I like Bernard, waiver wire alert. If he's still out there, go grab him and start him. Touchdown and 80 yards. They don't have anybody else to start. Prime candidate here for Ugly Game of the Week. We have the Packers at the Browns. I like the Packers because you can't pick the Browns. I think their defense gets a touchdown off this, turnover-prone quarterback that they have in there. They stink. I would go with Jamal Williams, but Cleveland's only laying up 97 yards on the ground. I guess it's because they can throw on them, but either way. 49ers at Texans. I like the Texans in this game. I know people are kind of jumping on San Fran because Garoppolo's in there now, but he's one guy. That team is kind of bad. I think Miller gets 80 yards and a touchdown. San Fran's letting up 124 yards a game on the ground, and Miller has nobody behind him. It's an opportunity thing. Now we have a division matchup. We have the Raiders at Chiefs. I'm done. I'm done with Kansas City. I'm done with their players. I'm done. Next week when I have Kareem Hunt in there, I'll see what I got to do. But I'm done picking them on here. I'm done everything with them. So we're taking Oakland or we're taking Crabtree to get a touchdown. Fuck you, Kansas City. Let's get into the Lions at the Bucks. I am not a big Lions guy. I'm not a big Stafford guy. And Stafford might be hurt. His hand's hurt. So I'm going to go with Tampa Bay in this game. I think Mike Evans finally comes down with one. I hope so to get him ready for my game next week. But that's what I think. Tampa Bay and Evans. Division matchup again. We have the Cowboys and the Giants. I like the Giants in this game. I think they're going to come back after this whole season's been shit. They have one more good game left in them. I think they play it this week. I think the defense gets a touchdown just to show that they can still beat this team. They beat them twice last year on the back of their defense. So I like the Giants and their defense to get a touchdown. Titans at Cardinals is next on the list. I like Tennessee in this game. I think they're coming on. I think they're really trying to make a push for this division. I like Walker to get a touchdown because Peterson's going to be following the outside guys around, I think. So he's going to have some room. I think he gets a touchdown here. And that's how I see it. Our second candidate here for Ugly Game of the Week is the Jets at the Broncos. Blech. Broncos got a new offensive coordinator last week, and he still put up 9 points. So they're done. Forget it. And I've been picking them all year. I'm done with that. We're going with the Jets. I think Powell gets a touchdown on the ground. Next on the card, we have the Redskins at the Chargers. This is an interesting one. I like the Chargers. Like I said last week, they're pushing. They're pushing for this division. Them and Oakland are going to be fighting it out. Forget about Kansas City. Screw them, like I said. I think Gordon gets 100 yards and a touchdown. Washington's letting up about 120 yards on the ground. That's not good. Another good one this week. We have the Seahawks at the Jags. This is kind of like a student versus the teacher kind of thing. I like the teacher in this game. I always like the teacher, especially if she's hot. Not that these guys are hot, but yeah, like that picture. She is hot. Anyway, I like Seattle, and I think the defense scores on Bortles. Finally, we get to awesome game of the week. We have the Eagles at the Rams. I like the Rams in this game. They're at home. They got Gurley. They got Goff. Their defenses are good. I don't see this being a high-scoring game, but I like Gurley to get 100 yards and a touchdown. I just think when they're at home, even though the Eagles fans travel, I like the Rams in this game. Pretty good division matchup we have here for Sunday night. We have Baltimore at Pittsburgh. I like Baltimore in this game to get revenge. Revenge on the Steelers for coming in there and beating them in Baltimore early in the season. Both teams have good defenses, but Shazier's out, and I think the team's a little down on that one, being as the prognosis is not good. So I like Collins to Irish step his way to a touchdown, and Baltimore wins the game. And the Monday Nighter, finally, we have New England at Miami. I gotta like New England. Miami, they might keep it close just because they're at home, but Miami's going to get beat up in this game. I like New England to win. I like Cooks to get a touchdown and 100 yards because we don't know what's going on with Hogan. Gronk's out, so somebody's got to get the ball. We usually put the fantasy football team segment here, but we're going to skip that. We're going to save that to the end because one team made the playoffs and one team didn't. I want to discuss that a little bit. So, without further ado.
Fucking degenerate you.
All right, let's talk about wagering on some professional sports contests here. We've got the book, and we've got his picks. The book, his number one pick is the Giants, plus 3.5 at home. Kind of like that pick, but we'll get to that later. His second pick is Carolina, plus 2.5, and his third pick is Miami, plus 11 on Monday night at home, double-digit dog. What up? We've got the old man's picks here. Let's see what he's got. He's got Chicago, plus 6.5. Freaking Chicago again? Yeah, I guess so. Chicago plus 6.5. The Jets -1 and San Fran plus 2.5. TalkMan best bets of the week. We have two this week. TalkMan likes the Giants at home plus 3.5 against the Cowboys. And I like on the road Seattle plus 2.5. So, as we all know, it's week 14. That means it's the beginning of the playoffs. Some teams are in, some teams are out. A couple teams have byes. I actually have two teams. One didn't make the playoffs. One has the bye. We're not going to talk about the bye team. We're going to get into them next week when we talk about the lineup that I'm going to have to put in. Let's talk about the team that didn't make it. Now, we went 7-5. We dealt with David Johnson going down. That sucked. And then we got Deshaun Watson. We thought things got better. That sucked because he went down week 7. Kareem Hunt's been on a downward trend for the last 6-7 weeks. So things haven't been all hunky-dory on my first team. That being said, we went into week 13 at 7-5. I've never seen 7 teams in a 10-team league win 7 games before. I've been doing this 20 years. I've never seen it. Saw it this year. So not only were they 7-5 at week 13, they were 7 teams at 7-5 on week 12. So going into week 13 was basically a playoff game with another 7-5 team, and this is what happened. Look at that. Look at that limpness. Look at that fucking nonsense. That is horrible. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, you want to take my mom, my sister, and my wife in a room and fuck them all up the ass? Oh, yeah, I'll just sit in the closet with the lights out. That's cool. Sounds good to me. Fuck you, dude. Come on. Really? That's how you act? Week 13? With that many points? What a disgrace. What a disgraceful effort that team put up. So we're out because of that. Couldn't do anything. And now we have the team on the bye, and we're going to concentrate on them. These guys can all go fuck off somewhere. So that's the show for this week. Thank you all for listening. I'd like to thank a lot of the Twitter guys. That's where I'm getting a lot of information from, and people are talking to me and giving me a piece of advice. And I'd really like to thank those guys. YouTube, I haven't been getting many subscribers. We're still looking for the next one's going to be number 15. Look at me go. But Twitter's been pretty good, and I'd really like to say thank you very much to everybody out there who has been sending me information on how to make the show better and just listening, and I've been listening to them. A couple guys so one of the guys didn't like the Giants this week, so I don't know. We'll see about that. I might send him a tweet afterwards. But thank you very much, you guys. We'll see you next week. I'll show you the team that made it and who we got to play after our bye week. Because one more win gets us in the money. And then there's going to be a party for that, right?
With chicks and guns and fire trucks and hookers and drugs and booze. Yeah.
And good luck to everybody who's in the playoffs. Maybe you get to play me next week. Probably not there. Probably not in the leagues. All right, take it easy. Have a good weekend.
Hey, thank you for listening. Don't forget to follow TalkMan Radio on Facebook and Twitter. And kill that like button and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget, everyone's team sucks but mine.